Welcome to DreadWeave. It's in the room. No, that's not right. He's in the room. And I'm in the closet, hiding in my own closet. Smells like old shoes and cedar. I'm whispering this into my phone. I don't know why. Maybe just so someone knows. He stopped moving. The worst part isn't the silence. The worst part is I can hear him breathing.
But I can also hear it. That's the sound of its finger on the glass. How can it be in both places at once? How can he be out there and it be in there? It all started 72 hours ago. It started with a blink. The apartment was new, empty. An echo box of white walls and beige carpet. You know the feeling, the fresh start. I needed furniture, everything. A couch, a bed, a lamp. I was driving back from some big box Swedish store, frustrated, when I saw it. The Gilded Magpie. One of those antique shops tucked into a forgotten strip mall. It smelled like dust and old books, the smell of other people's memories. The owner was this skeletal old woman with eyes like two cloudy marbles. She just sat behind a counter knitting, didn't even look up. "Just looking?" I said. "No one is just looking," she rasped, not missing a stitch. "They're just waiting to be found." Creepy. But whatever, I needed things. I wandered through canyons of broken clocks and chairs no one would ever sit in. And then I saw it. It was in the back, under a dusty velvet sheet. It was perfect. A full-length mirror, maybe 7 feet tall. The frame wasn't wood. It looked like tarnished, blackened silver, carved into impossible knots, like serpents eating their own tails. The glass itself was thick, dark. It seemed to drink the light in the room. I pulled the sheet off, and the air just stopped. I looked at my reflection. I looked good, better than I should have. The lighting in that place was terrible, but the mirror, it made me look sharper, defined. How much? The old woman was suddenly standing right behind me. I didn't even hear her move. She smiled. "It's been waiting for a new home. It's particular. It needs a room with good light." She gave me a price that was criminally low. I paid in cash, and she and some guy she called from the back loaded it into my car. As I was leaving, she put a dry hand on my arm. "A word of advice," she whispered, her cloudy eyes fixing on mine. "Don't stare too long. It's rude." I just laughed. I set it up in my bedroom, opposite the window. She was right. The light was good. It tied the whole room together. I spent that first night assembling a bed frame, swearing its Swedish instructions. Around 3 a.m., I was done, exhausted. I stood in front of the mirror, wiping sweat off my forehead. I smiled. My reflection smiled.
And then I waved. A stupid little good-night wave to myself. My reflection waved back. The next day, I woke up, and the first thing I did was look at the mirror. I waved, it waved back, perfectly, in sync. I let out a breath I didn't know I was holding. It was a sigh of total relief. "See?" I said, pointing at the mirror. "Just tired." My reflection pointed back. We were in sync. I went to work. I had a normal day. I forgot about it. Until that night. I came home, threw my keys in a bowl. I was walking to the bedroom, and I saw it from the hallway. I was walking, and my reflection was standing still. Just for a split second, it was standing at the edge of the mirror's frame, watching the empty room. The second I stopped, it snapped into place. It was my reflection again, staring at me, perfectly mimicking my posture. But I saw it. "Okay," I said, my heart starting to drum against my ribs. "Okay, let's do a test." This is where I messed up. I should have run, but I was curious. It was a puzzle. I went into the bedroom, stood in front of it. "Hi." He looked like he said, "Hi." I raised my right hand. 1,000. He raised his left. The lag was back. But it was worse. It wasn't half the second. It was a full second. I raised my left hand. 1,000. He raised his right. It was a perfect mirror, just delayed. I sat down, cross-legged, on the floor. 1,000. My reflection sat down. I held up 2 fingers. 1,000. He held up 2 fingers. I held up 3 fingers. 1,000. He held up 1. My blood turned to ice. I didn't move. I just stared at his 1 finger. And then, very slowly, he lowered it. We stared at each other, me on the floor, terrified, him on the floor looking curious. "What are you?" I whispered. My reflection didn't move. The lag was now indefinite. It was broken. He was just sitting there, looking at me. And then he smiled. I wasn't smiling. I was horrified. But he smiled. A big, wide, toothy grin. A smile that didn't fit my face. It was too wide. I screamed. I scrambled backward, crab-walking away until my back hit the wall. He stood up. My reflection. He stood up while I was still on the floor. He walked right up to the glass. He was inches from it. He was still smiling that awful, stretched-out smile, and he just watched me. I did the only thing I could. I ran out of the room. I grabbed the spare sheet from the closet, this closet, and I ran back in. He was still there, smiling. I threw the sheet over the mirror. The room was silent. I stood there, panting, staring at the sheet-covered mirror. It was over. Whatever it was just a thing, and I'd call the dump in the morning. I backed out of the room, turned on all the lights in the apartment, the living room, the kitchen, the bathroom. I slept on the couch. It was the only way. I woke up to the sound of birds. Sunlight was streaming in. It all felt stupid. A nightmare. A smile, I mumbled, rubbing my face. I got scared by a smile. I was a grown man. I was going to pack up the stupid mirror and take it back. I walked into the bedroom. The sheet was on the floor. It was folded neatly. Folded neatly on the floor at the base of the mirror. I looked up. He was there. My reflection. But he wasn't mimicking me. He wasn't lagging. He was just standing there. Dressed like me, looking like me, but he looked perfect. My hair is always a mess. His was perfectly combed. I had sleep in my eyes. His were bright and clear. He looked rested. He saw me, and that awful smile spread across his face again. "No," I said. "No, you're not real. You're a trick, an optical illusion." He just tilted his head, still smiling. I lost it. I grabbed the heavy glass water pitcher I kept on my nightstand. "I'm gonna break it," I yelled. "I'm gonna break you." I charged at the mirror, pitcher raised, ready to shatter the glass. I didn't hit the glass. My hand, it just stopped. About a foot away, like I'd hit a wall. An invisible, rubbery wall. I pushed. It wouldn't budge. My reflection. He walked up to the glass. He was an inch away from my fist. He placed his hand, my hand, directly opposite mine on the glass. He pushed. I didn't feel it. I saw it. The glass, it rippled. It rippled like a pond. His hand, it wasn't on the glass. It was in the glass. It was sinking. And then it started to come through. I watched, paralyzed, as his fingers, my fingers, pushed through the surface of the mirror. The glass stretched like silver skin. He pushed his arm through, up to the elbow. He was reaching for me. I should have run. Why didn't I run? He grabbed my shirt. His grip was so cold. It felt like freezer burn. I tried to pull away, but that invisible wall was gone now. He pulled. I was pulled towards the mirror. He smiled, and this time he laughed. It sounded like my laugh. "My turn," he said. And with one final impossible tug, he pulled me through the glass as he stepped out. And that's where I am now. I'm not in the mirror. I don't think I am. The other Mark, he threw me in here, in the closet. He laughed. "It's rude to stare," he said. And then he just left. He closed the door. He's out there. He's in my apartment. He's talking to my mother. That's him. He's moving something. Dragging my desk. But it's still in there. He swapped me.
He took my place, and I'm trapped with it. Or maybe it swapped with him. He's outside the door.
I have to call 911. I'm looking at my phone. I'm opening the app to call, but I accidentally I opened the front-facing camera. I'm looking at myself on the screen in the dark. I can just see my eyes. I'm going to test it. I'm blinking. 1,000. It's lagging.